After I spent $8,000 of my own money on small gun safes, I tested the biometrics, I found deadly design flaws, I tested long-term reliability, and a couple of safes broke all by themselves. And then I probably tested over 10 small gun safes to see just how tough they really are. And with all that, these are my top gun safe picks. This is the Sentry Biometric gun safe. Main features: it's built super damn tough, taking over 23 minutes of full force pry attack with stage 3 tools. Not in a million years did I ever think it would be this tough, just with one locking latch. The Sentry Safe features a gas strut to help lift and lower that heavy steel lid. Enter the safe with either biometrics, electronic number pad, or mechanical key. And now onto my pry rating. Take a look at just how much damage this way under $200 safe took. This little safe gives you real pry protection. I have the full pry test on my channel if you wanted to see just how tough this safe is. The Sentry Safe earns a 4 out of 5 pry rating. Now my quick access rating. I tested my Sentry Safe for over 3 years without any issues, and even though it took a lot of damage, it still registers my fingerprint to this day, as you can see here. The biometrics are also more secure than my $300 VaultTech, and it passed my wet and powder test. What's not to like here? The Sentry Safe earns a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought: I would say this is more than just a gun locker. It's truly a tiny safe. Sentry is my top budget brand. This is the King Knox PB1 multi-gun safe. Main features: when I lock my gun in a little tank of a safe, I want to know I can get it out. That's why I'm 100% sold on the Simplex push button lock. And it's not cheap all by itself, as you can see here. Plus, Knox has a lifetime warranty and are made in the USA. And now onto my pry rating. I tried to pry into this little tank, and as you can see here with my PB1 model, I can tell you this: my pry tools are pretty much useless. Even if I could get some pry leverage, you're now dealing with thick 10 gauge steel and this massive steel bolt. I base my top tier rating system on how Knox safes are designed and built. The Knox gets a 5 out of 5 pry rating. Now my quick access rating. If my life is on the line, I don't want batteries or electronics to worry about. I want a 100% mechanical safe, and that's why my Knox is my personal bedside safe. The push button lock is fast and easy to use, and it's just going to work for years to come. The Knox earns a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought: Knox safes are my go-to vehicle safes. Neither extreme cold or heat will affect these little tanks. This is the Veline push button rifle safe. Main features: all steel construction and one of the few safe brands made in the USA. The Veline is the perfect size to accommodate AR type rifles, and also one of the most reliable with a Simplex push button lock. Not just a great home safe, but also my go-to vehicle safe, as extreme cold or heat will not affect this safe with no batteries or electronics to worry about. And now onto my pry rating. This safe features 3 locks total, 2 barrel key type locks, and the primary Simplex lock near the middle. When the Veline is locked down with all 3 locks, it's not going to be a good day for a pry attack. The Veline gets a 5 out of 5 pry rating. Now my quick access rating. The safe gives you the option for a total lockdown with 3 locking points, or just leave the 2 barrel key locks in the open position and only use the Simplex push button lock for lightning fast quick access for defensive use. This Veline safe is the best of both worlds. The Veline gets a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought: when you lock down your rifle, you need to know you can get it out. That's why small analog safes are the best for defensive use. This one happens to be tough as well. This is Vaultek's VE10 gun safe. Main features: this is Vaultek's budget line, but it's still a tough little safe. The VE10 features an automatic opening lid, includes a rechargeable battery that lasts up to 4 to 6 months, steel security cable for on-the-go securement, and pre-drilled mounting holes for permanent placement. Now a quick fitment guide. The VE10 is a compact safe, but has just enough space to put a full-size Glock 17 inside of it. It's a tight fit, but doable. And now onto my pry rating. This is Vaultek's most basic safe, and unlike other Vaultek models, only features one locking latch. The VE10 is made from 18 gauge progressively formed steel body, and I believe the VE10 is half a level above the Sentry Safe, as you can see here. That took 23 minutes with stage 3 pry tools to open. The Vaultek VE10 gets a 4.5 out of 5 pry rating. And now my quick access rating. The VE10 is a simple electronic safe, and I like that, less to go wrong. My personal Vaultek has been 100% reliable over 3 years, and I expect nothing less from any Vaultek safe. You can quickly open the VE10 with either number pad or good old-fashioned key. The Vaultek VE10 gets a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought: for just over $150, this is one of the most reliable and toughest safes you can get. This is Viking's Biometric gun safe. Main features: the Viking safe has one of the best biometric sensors in its price class. I will go into this more with my quick access rating. You can also enter the safe with its backlit number pad, and the backlight also functions as a battery level indicator. LED interior light with pre-drilled holes for permanent placement. And now onto my pry rating. The build of this safe looks similar to the All Safe I pry tested here. The All Safe is slightly tougher in my opinion. The Viking has one single locking latch, and that latch is smaller than what is found on the All Safe. The Viking gets a 2.5 out of 5 pry rating. Now my quick access rating. This may not be the toughest safe locker, but it will work when you need it to. I have extensively tested its FBI rated biometric sensor, and it easily passed all my tests. This is the same biometric sensor found on my Verifi safes I tested here, and you can use the number pad or mechanical key as a backup. The Viking safe gets a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought: this is one of the most trusted biometric safe lockers you can get for under $200. It's not the toughest, but it's going to work when you need it to. This is Verifi's biometric gun safe. Main features. Verifi Safes feature a self-diagnostic test every 24 hours or after every use. There's also an open door alarm, battery meter, tamper alerts, and data log. Automatic opening and locking door, interior light, fully carpeted interior, 4-year battery life, and the best biometrics I tested out of all major safe brands. This is one of the few biometric safes with true vein detection. I will cover this in my quick access rating. And now onto my Pry Rating. The Verifi Safe has an 8-gauge steel door and 14-gauge steel body with 2 steel deadbolts. From my test of other safes and with the build and design of this safe, I believe the Verifi Safe would put up a fight above the Sentry Safe you see here, but not as strong as a Fort Knox. The Verifi gets a 4.5 out of 5 Pry Rating. Now my quick access rating. Verifi Safes feature an FBI rated fingerprint sensor made by Zydeco Biometrics. In my biometric test, it easily passed my wet and powder test, and it was one of the hardest safes to biohack. With this test, I made a print from fabric glue of my fingerprint. Most biometric safes open with a fresh glue print only, but I had to add graphite to the glue to finally hack into the Verifi's biometrics. Now with my vein detection test, I cannot hack into the Verifi Safe with a glue print placed on a glove as you can see here. This is vein detection in action. And the Verifi Safe was the only brand to pass this test. The Verifi Safe gets a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. It earned this one. Final thought, I own 2 Verifi Safes that have performed flawlessly for over 3 years. These are quality safes that I put my trust into. This is the Secured 40 gun locker. Main features. If you want a reliable gun locker that will last more than a few years, then the Secured 40 is the one for the job. I've had my Secured locker for over 3 years and have never had one issue. And if you also need a portable gun locker for your vehicle, the Secured has pre-drilled holes for permanent mounting and comes in at just 33 pounds. And now onto my Pry Rating. The Secured 40 has one locking latch and 2 smaller bolts at either end of the door as you can see here. The Secured gets a 3.5 out of 5 Pry Rating. Now my quick access rating. The simple electronic keypad works great and have not had any battery drain issues with the Secured locker. There is a barrel key for the mechanical lock, not the best, but this is a light duty locker. The Secured gets a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought, this is a quality made locker. This is one that I wouldn't be surprised working in 10 years. This is the Stealth Shadow SV1 gun safe. Main features. This is the most secure gun safe you can buy, even more secure than a Fort Knox, Veline, or even Viking Safe, and here is why. The Stealth Shadow features a UL-approved S&G Spartan Electronics deadbolt. This thing is even EMP rated. S&G locks are the type of electronics found on bigger safes. You won't find this on any other small safes. The Stealth Safe features a super thick 7-gauge steel lid, 10-gauge steel body with a gas strut to help lift that heavy lid, foam interior with space for 2 full-size pistols. And now onto my Pry Rating. With the 7-gauge steel lid and steel deadbolt, the Stealth Safe is on another level of protection. Even a skilled attacker is going to have major problems with this little safe. If you need the best of the best, this is it. The SV1 gets a 6 out of 5 rating. It just broke my rating system. Now my quick access rating. The UL listed S&G electronic lock is simply the best you can find in the small safe category. Just simply input your code and twist the dial and you're in. The ShadowVault SV1 gets a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought, the Shadow SV1 is the most secure small gun safe you can find. This would be my go-to storage option, but also a great quick access bedside safe. It's a tank. How I rate stuff. I know it looks like I rate everything highly, but I really did spend $8,000 on these small safes, all put on my credit cards, and then I get no views on YouTube. Alright, enough about my suffering, so let's start with the curious case of the Bill Conch. This locker would lock down in place with your right hand, as you can see here, but with only one small tap in the middle of the lid, it would open all by itself. I even thought it might have been possessed by Satan, but that actually turned out not to be the case. You have to press down in the middle of the lid to lock the lid down, as there are 2 locking latches with this locker. And trust me, that's one deadly design. Now onto the pry test. The Bill Conch was tougher than I thought it would be with this sheet metal build. And as you can see here, the 2 locking latches broke off into the body, but they did detach from the sheet metal lid. The Bill Conch got a 2.5 out of 5 pry rating. Now here is the RPMB lockbox, with only one tiny locking latch, as you can see here. By the way, if you ever see this tiny locking latch design, it's probably not going to be a tough locker. Anyway, here is the full pry test. And there you go, 8 seconds to pry open. The RPMB got a 1 out of 5 pry rating. This list is not in order because I wanted to show this Sifely lockbox, as it has a similar latch design as the RPMB. It was a little tougher and took 1 minute and 8 seconds with stage 1 pry tools. The Sifely got a 2 out of 5 pry rating. And here is the RPMB single pistol locker. Side note, this locker would drain its batteries as it sat. This is not good and was the only locker to have battery drain issues. And here is the full pry test. And that's another 1 out of 5 pry rating for RPMB. Let's move up half a rating from the RPMB with the Onias. The Onias looks just like the Ananus. I'm just gonna call it the Anus from now on. They do look the same, but they are not 100% the same. And here is the anus test, starting with stage 1. So let's see how fast we get in here. The anus just popped open in 13 seconds with stage 1 pry tools. And here is the anus test. So that one took 35 seconds and actually bent the lid. The anus earned a 1.5 out of 5 Pry rating. And here is the only cheap brand that stood out, even though it was recalled for its biometrics. But I do believe AllSafe has fixed the biometric issues as of now. I really thought I was going to get in fast and easy with this under $100 safe. But as you can see here, it does have a nice size single locking latch. And to my surprise, took 3 minutes and 82 seconds with level 3 pry tools. And so there is my 3 out of 5 pry rating. Now we move to a stage 4 rating, the Sentry Safe. You will need to go to my channel and find the full test, because it took 23 minutes and 47 seconds with stage 3 pry tools. That was not fun or easy, trust me. So what is a stage 5 rating? Pretty much means pry attacks aren't going to work. Here is my Fort Knox PB1. The design alone prevents any possibility to pry into, as you can see here. Stage 5 is pretty much angled right under territory. And there you go, my 1 out of 5 pry rating system. Until next time, see you then.